Welcome everyone to the Monday, November 24th, South Russell Village Council meeting. I'd like everyone to please rise, put your hand over your heart, and join us in our pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Fiscal officer will take the roll.
Kavanaugh. Here. Whitney.
Here.
Porter.
Here.
Bell.
Here.
Berger.
Here.
Canton.
Here. We have minutes of the November 10th regular council meeting. Any changes or corrections to the minutes?
Move to approve the minutes.
Hearing none, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Seconded, moved by Porter, seconded by Canton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We have visitors. Would our visitors like to speak this evening? Nope. Okay, we are at the mayor's report. First thing on the mayor's report, these 2, 4, 6 are basically people that have been serving and their terms are up and they have all agreed to continue serving. So I'm seeking a motion to confirm, and we're going to have Ruth do these, and if Mark would second them, that would be fine, since these all deal with the building department. Motion to confirm the appointment of Gary Neola to the Architecture Review Board for the term beginning 1/1/26 and ending 12/31/28.
Move to approve.
Motion approved.
Second.
Second, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion passes. Motion, okay.
You want me to read them?
For Gary Neola, those are 3-year terms. He's been on the Architecture Review Board, and they are paid. The 2 other members are also paid. The rest of these people are all volunteers. Motion to confirm the appointment of Lisa Budoff, Planning Commission, term beginning 1/1/26 and ending 12/31/31.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and approved. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. That is a 6-year term. Motion to confirm the appointment of John Buda to the BZA, term beginning 1/1/26 and ending 12/31/29.
Move to approve.
Moved by Kavanaugh, seconded by Porter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hey, that's a 3-year,
3-year term.
3-year term. Or no, it's a 4-year term, BZA's. Motion to confirm the appointment of Lindsay Self, BZA alternate, term beginning 1/1/26 and ending 12/31/29.
Before I say move to approve, wasn't she on completely? Wasn't she a member?
No, she's always been an alternate, although she has served a lot on the
Okay.
BZA.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Motion to confirm the appointment of Libby Starkey, Park Committee, term beginning 1/1/26 and ending 12/31/29.
So moved.
Moved by Berger, seconded by
Second.
Kavanaugh. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now that's a 4-year term. And I forgot, okay, motion to confirm the appointment of Martha Biston to the Park Committee, term beginning 1/1/26 and ending 12/31/29.
So moved.
Moved and seconded.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Park Committee is a 4-year term. Okay, that takes care of the official part. Thursday is Thanksgiving Day. It's a time to give thanks. So here are just a few of the thank yous. If I forget somebody, my apologies, but the intent is there. I want to thank the local reporters from the Chagrin Valley Times and the Maple Leaf. Both published articles about the Veterans Food Pantry presentation at the Veterans Breakfast. And thank you to Linda Madden for acquiring the grave markers for our veterans, who will place the fresh flag and a wreath at each veteran's grave on Saturday, December the 13th. That'll be at 10 in the morning. Thank you to the employees. The budget is getting finalized. Chief, I don't even know if you know all this. Meadowbrook had a water leak in the private water system over the weekend. No one could be found to handle the situation. But somehow a PD officer got a name, delivered it to some of the Meadowbrook residents, and the leak was fixed this morning. So Chief, one of your guys, I don't know all the details, but came through because they were hurt.
Yeah, it was a leak.
Okay. But he found it and delivered, found the information on Sunday.
Yeah.
2 employees spent Saturday installing the holiday lighting program. And also we got 2 new restaurants. They're going through the building department process and both should be open in the spring. I want to thank the volunteers on the Architecture Review Board, even though they are paid, the Board of Zoning Appeals and the Planning Commission. We just appreciate those. And last, the United States Geological Society visited the village today for their usual check on our water quantity. They'll send out a report early next year. Okay, that concludes the mayor report. Questions of the mayor? Hearing none, we are at the fiscal officer.
In your council packets, I gave you a summary of the adjustments I made to the draft budget for 2026, the changes that I made for the last council meeting. And after those adjustments, we were short for the street maintenance fund, permissive tax fund, and special road fund. So on those funds, I decreased it by $50,000 for the street fund, $40,000 for the permissive tax fund, but that's really the permissive tax money we'll get. We have to amend our certificate of resources in January after we apply for the permissive tax funds from the county, and then we'll put that money in the budget. So that's just kind of a wash. And then I estimated $135,000 for Hazelwood, but we didn't know about that at tax budget time, so we'll have to amend the budget in January for that as well. However, at the utilities meeting the other day, the engineer said there may be we might be able to start the Hazelwood project. So those expenses might increase because that project would be started in 26 and finished in 27.
Right after July 1st, 26.
Is when-
Award the contract theoretically.
Right. So those were the amendments I made to the first draft of the budget. And as you know, on our first draft, it isn't always everything we want. And then after we get our year-end cash balances certified by the county, then I don't see that we would have any issues making these amendments in January. So it is on the agenda to at least introduce it tonight. You can go through 3 readings or waive readings. And that was it for the budget. The other thing I had a question about is at the last council meeting, council approved up to $10,000 for holiday lighting. And as of today, we have spent $9,687.56 from the invoices the street commissioner gave me. However, he also purchased $2,700 in trees I'm assuming those are the ones for the corner lot, and he didn't think those should come out of the holiday lighting. So I just want to make sure everybody's okay with that. It's $2,700, so it's an addition to the $10,000.
Those are the live ones, not the cut ones.
Right,
I assume so.
right, those are live.
So we could take that out of the building maintenance fund as long as everybody's okay with it. And that's, I think, all I have.
Questions of the fiscal officer?
Okay, so what do we want to do with the budget tonight? Do we want to
You need to approve it.
approve it, or, we can go through 3 readings, or we can just knock it out tonight and be done with it?
The legislation it's by legislation, which Jerry has to introduce.
Okay, so, all right, so that'll come
So we're
down.
going to do it tonight, Jerry?
Yeah, well, sure.
As
Okay.
well.
Any other questions of the fiscal officer? Hearing none, we are at the finance committee.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mayor. The next meeting, we haven't, we don't have a date for December meeting. Mr. Porter and I spoke about the possibility of December 12th. Is that a good time for you, Danielle? December 12th at 3:15?
I'll make it work. I think so.
Jerry, is school still in session? Are you still?
On the 12th, it is.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm not here that day.
You're not here?
No,
Okay, how about the 19th?
I'm not here. I'm gonna take time off.
Okay. What do you think?
I could probably come in on the 19th in the afternoon if you want.
How about Thursday, the 11th? December 11th?
I'm here
that good? Okay, let's make it December 11th. At 3:15 PM, we'll make the PUC the same time?
Right after.
Yeah.
So 4:15 for PUC.
Okay, fine.
I'm sorry, I missed that. You're gonna do PUC at the same time?
At 4:15, same day, but
Same day,
4:15.
no. Okay, credit card review was completed along with battery of checks signed and cross-checked. The finance committee met on the 21st of November, 3:15 PM here at the Village Hall. You found the minutes at your desk. Are there any questions about that? A couple things, a couple highlights here under competitive bidding. Our solicitor made it quite clear that the fire and emergency service contracts are exempt from standard competitive building. She made that quite clear. Plus, underneath that same heading, the very last bullet, solicitor will revise the draft orders to reflect a $10,000 minimum threshold, $50,000 upper limit for competitive quote requirement, clarification on state bid, joint purchasing exemptions, along with the ordinance to be forwarded to the finance committee prior to future council action. On the back page, I find it quite interesting that the bike and pedestrian trail, if it's developed on the north side of Val, it's going to cost $1.4 million. South side, $1.8 million. We have an $800,000 grant. The rest of that will be paid by taxpayers. 2026 salary increase. Councilman Berger, would you like to reflect upon that, please?
Sure. Okay, so every year we go through, from an HR perspective, looking at increase in costs beyond salary. So any benefit increases, any additional costs to the village for employment taxes, et cetera. For this year, there were none. Our healthcare insurance came in at a 0% increase.
Which I still can hardly
Right.
believe.
Which we take that and run. So, so with that in mind, we were able to look at what was available, the information that we have on a statewide basis as to what increases were happening elsewhere. And we settled on an agreement that 4% was the number we'd like to recommend to council as an increase for this year. So we were able to do that because we didn't have these other costs to deal with. So that's what will happen at HR.
Okay, thank you very much. I have to believe it's the $300 annual bonus before employees get a physical. Is that what it is?
For that physical, 250.
$250. That's paying their dividends back.
Yes, the
I would
employees
think
are
so.
going for their physicals just about 100%. They usually go November, December, so I started getting stuff today from a bunch of them. And, yeah, so we get close to 100%.
Very good. That's all I have for finance.
Questions of the finance committee? On the backside, Jerry, the remote check scanning proposal from Huntington Bank. Danielle, when Dennis and I were at the Ohio Municipal League, I guess the treasurer from Beach would comment, they're still doing 90% of their checks by paper checks because they're so afraid of fraud. And that seems odd.
This would be, we still cut our checks paper. This would be for the deposit. So every day, Leslie has to go to the bank. And, so this would cut that out. It's cheaper per deposit, per check, and they give you the reports. You don't have to, make copies of the checks. It all goes through the scanner. So that way we would be able to deposit every day, except for the days we get cash, and we don't get that much cash.
Okay,
It saves an employee going back and forth.
Yes.
it's a good deal. Okay, no other questions of the finance? Oh, want to comment on the finance? We did set another record. I think we've set 6 records for income tax collection for this year. So things are rolling. Solicitor, floor is yours.
I have nothing to report.
Solicitor, guys, we just finished the public records meeting, and everything was like always, perfectly organized and seemed to just flow, so thank you. As I said, I couldn't figure out how it flows so easily,
I thank Danielle for that.
okay?
I organized that, thank you.
Questions of the solicitor? Hearing none, street committee, Ruth, you're up.
Oh, street committee, I'm looking at this third-party reviewer submission. Have we submitted somebody? I haven't.
Well, that went out to, it was in the packet.
I read
So
it.
we only got one person. And the solicitor, I believe we included that in the packet as well, what the ORC,
Right.
what the
So,
requirements are.
So we have to approve it, or?
no, so you have to evaluate it. So, and I don't know, I can't remember, I'm sorry, can someone remind me, but it was a 3-week publication that we put out. So is the 3 weeks up yet?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay, so we only received one. Okay, I guess I thought we were just kind of getting them trickling.
This is for the Bell Road East, we got one, and then the trails.
Comes in another, I think like December 5th, I think is the last day for that one. Okay, so we just have to evaluate it and determine whether or not you think that's.
But if he's the only one that submitted, or that group's the only one that submitted,
Right.
what else do you do?
Well, no, you mean, you still evaluate it, you have them in for an interview, so there's a whole process for that statute. So I can send it again if you'd like, but we just have to decide. So I don't know if it's gonna go to the street committee or if it will go to all of council, but I'm assuming street committee, since there's one, to interview the firm. that
So we
submitted.
want to get that done as soon as possible.
I would-
presume.
yeah, I would
Yeah, okay.
Street committee and the mayor should interview and ensure that they're not charging an exorbitant amount of money for their services, even though they are the only bidder. And then it would presumably be up to council to either accept or reject the recommendation from streets as to whether this third-party provider should be employed or not for the purposes of Bell Road East.
Just by the off chance you would find they're not qualified again, like if they need to just re-advertise and, you can't just take him because he was the only one, they were the only one. You have to do your evaluation and then as long as they're good, fine, and if not, then you start over.
Well, and keep in mind, we haven't received any kind of cost proposal from them, where these are just qualifications, that's it. So keep that in.
I'm just curious, should the engineer be involved in the interview
No.
process?
You probably shouldn't, only because it's very similar to kind of
Oh,
what
okay.
he's doing as well as the engineering, and so this is one of the reasons was to kind of have an independent,
Okay,
right? This is required by ODOT and the grants, and the same thing with, with respect to the trail.
I was looking for expertise
Yeah.
in understanding, but that's too close, so.
It seems like it's another layer that you really don't need. Am I wrong in thinking that?
We have to do it per ODOT,
I know.
so I cannot comment on whether or not we need that. It's definitely ODOT's rules.
And the answer to your question, Ruth, is yes.
Okay.
However, it's required, as the solicitor pointed out, and my understanding from the engineer is this third-party firm checks their drawings to ensure that it's done properly.
That's correct. That's why the
Which we've
engineer
paid
does.
for and blah, blah. Okay, all
Right.
right.
But that's why the engineer can't be part of the process, right? Because,
Because he did the drawings.
Correct.
Or this firm did the
do you
drawings.
remember with Manor we had something similar? But we had to actually get an opinion waiving the conflicts of the engineer. That was that was through EPA though, different than ODOT.
It was.
This is a new process.
Correct.
This is new ground for me. Can
New
you
ground
send
for
out some guidelines, or you said,
Sure, it's in the packet, but I'll send it again. It was just a statute that says how you evaluate whoever has responded with the qualifications.
is that with the packet from Structure Point?
I'm not sure. It was definitely in the
Yes, it
council
was.
packet.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll reread it then.
That's
Thank
okay, I'll send it again.
All right.
you. Okay,
And we have to come up with a schedule, which I don't have. Dennis and I will figure out a meeting and get this done soon. Building committee, we had quite a meeting about 2 weeks.
look, are you finished on streets already?
I am.
I said something to, we had a meeting, you want to talk about a meeting with Eric tonight?
You start and I'll finish.
Okay, Eric was here, we talked about a bunch of different things. One of them was the Sugar Bush situation, which Daniela said we've already been paid by Sugar Bush. HOA.
Gave us their portion of it.
We also talked about the salt structure. We had the contractor here with Dave Hosavar. And then we also talked about the hemlock situation coming. But one of the things, on the way out, I said, Eric, can we get a bid for Bell Road East? Why not get the bid now? He said, no, ODOT does that. So we're on their timeline as to how they bid it off. I forgot that. So Okay, any other questions or comments from the street committee?
Do you want to go over the, like, pre-construction for the other things?
No, I thought we were okay.
Okay.
That was just the usual, making sure, just like with the road program, it was fine.
What did the engineer and contractor say about Sugar Bush as to possibly starting the project?
Okay, Sugar Bush, you would like us to lower the water level, get the water level lowered as much as possible out of all the area in Sugar Bush. They paid us, the work will start in 2026. There's gonna be removing some trees. They'll be dumping all the, what we call the muck, enough on the south side of Bell Road in their grassy area. We're not sure that there was enough room. That's the impression I had.
They better have enough room because it's,
He was concerned about them that where they have enough room for all they're gonna dig out. And then they talked about hydro seeding to have erosion control of that area, which kind of flew by me. This is the same gentleman that's worked with us with CMG, and the same gentleman who did Bell Road East Culvert. He's doing the salt structure, and he's doing the Hemlock. Eric's pretty confident in him. I thought things went well. Just,
it's busy.
yeah, he's very busy, yeah.
What about the salt structure there?
Salt-
Comments on that?
Salt structure, we've not had any working prints yet, so we don't have a set price. There's something with Fort Danielle, $4,500 to make it more like the orange.
Yeah, so because this was the design bid build, so they are the contractor's the one doing the final design. Well, they ran into some problems where they were gonna do the walls thicker, but it was gonna be another 100,000, so they're trying to work like what, Orange Village has. So that's gonna be another $4,500 for to redesign it. But I asked Eric and he said he believes he built enough in the contingency that would cover that, so we shouldn't worry about it.
It still doesn't change the height. It changes some of the construction.
The walls rather than the concrete all the way up, would be concrete part and then wood.
And the revision is, it'll be frame above, I think, 12
Frame
feet or
above,
something like
yeah.
that, rather than concrete. So
Yes.
4 foot or so will be wooden structure rather than concrete.
I had assumed, since you can see the one at Orange, then there's one in Solon, that it's pretty much a cookie cutter design. I said, no, not at all. It's just nice, you go buy a set of blueprints and anyhow, that's not the way to do it. Right now, they're talking about 16-foot walls. Tim's expecting 2,000 tons of salt. The issue is the footers. If the weather's good, the footers are huge. They're gonna be, 10 feet wide. So that's gonna be one of the issues.
8 to 10 feet.
8 to 10 feet. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to pour any concrete above ground because of the winter. Looking at a spring start, maybe get the footers in before the snow or the cold. You can do that, but you use blankets and you put chemicals into the concrete. It's the way they built the Lantern. They were pouring concrete when it was 10 degrees outside. But
And
since
probably
these-
paying a lot more for it.
yeah, and these walls are going to be up, so you don't want to be Eric does not want to put chemicals or blankets or anything. He says, in fact, don't pour concrete below 32 degrees. The same guy, it would be interesting in demoing the salt structure as soon as he gets the other ones off. This is 100% village funded. Danielle was there, we were looking at Sugar Bush and all these other things. But this is all on our dime. The thing that we ask is that somebody's going to have to sign off. And we have a lot of confidence in Bill Gallagher, who has always done our building. And that's the person we think we're going to use.
Is that third-party thing again?
No, but Bill Gallagher's the guy we always use out of the building department. He looks at every print.
So he looks at the prints and says, this will go.
Says yes or no. So right now, there's not an engineer that's gonna say that we're okay. That's the impression I had, that even the CMG doesn't. You would do the footers,
Wait, stop. Mark's giving me work. What he means is they have to go back and do this $4,500 whatnot. to make sure it's okay.
Understood, but typically a PE or a structural engineer will sign off on the prints.
Until they get working prints, no one will sign off on it.
Okay.
So that's,
I misunderstood what you said.
no, what we're waiting,
Bill Gallagher, a PE? Who is he?
Bill Gallagher, he used to work for CT. He is the engineer that we use whenever we have prints on any sort of an activity. He's the one that okays it, to say, yes, it should, or no, it should not be built.
Presumably he's a PE then.
He moved on to work by himself after, I think
Yeah.
after they were purchased.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Most
he's
of them.
After
Yeah.
CT was purchased.
Right, yeah.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, he's been around for years, and we've had a lot, we haven't had any bad luck with him. The last comment was that they were a no-footer, the other thing, which is interesting, about, in the opening to the salt dome, about putting a footer in the ground or not. And talked about the concrete and all, and frankly, it kind of got above my head, I don't know about yours, but basically that's the impression I had. Through the opening, there's no footer needed. And there's something you can put into the concrete, some sort of fiber, Eric said no. So basically, if it's not below 32 degrees, it could possibly work, but nothing after that.
So it gets put off till spring is
Yeah.
and street commissioner says that he can make this go with the dome and the salt and the delivery by April 30th. So it better go.
I'm pretty frustrated because this keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed. I feel like 3 years now. it feels like. And I feel like every time there's a reason that Eric throws out, I'm just very frustrated.
I was just thinking of those two seats where the two ladies are. That's where the blue salt dome guy was here 3 years ago.
Blue Streak or
Blue
something,
Street,
yeah.
yeah.
And we do have it in this year's budget, so we will be encumbering that 700 whatever thousand until next year. And encumbering Sugar Bush.
So what does this mean for the quote that we approved?
Are you talking about Sugar Bush?
No, I'm talking about the salt barn, whatever we call it.
Salt barn, yeah.
Nick, the guy from CBD, he seemed very confident that he was going to hit it without a problem. He said, I got the number to work with, and he thinks he could do it. But that's.
Except for the $100,000 extra in
Well, he doesn't think that's coming.
concrete.
When council approved it, you approved it and Eric wrote in some contingency amounts for different things.
Mhm.
And when these thicker walls came in, it was gonna raise the cost over 100,000, so Nick, I believe his name is, he's trying to work with his designer to come up, like, the mayor was talking about the footer. In Orange Villages, they have, a footer across the front where the doorway is, but you don't need that, and that's a lot of concrete, so if we take that out, that would save us some money, so they're trying to find different ways to save money, but the building would still be structurally sound and look the same. But that's why they gotta redesign it and then let us know. Hopefully it will fit within the amount you approved, but we won't know until they redesign it.
Anything else on the salt structure? Ruth, want me to go ahead and do Hemlock? Wow,
Do Hemlock.
okay. Hemlock, again, we're using the same CMG company. The price is $97,650. We are abusing the fiscal officer. We've told him, you gotta bill us by December the 18th. And we're probably gonna have to have a special council meeting on December 29th, which is not fair to you.
I'm gonna be here if it's during,
okay.
it's during the day, I mean,
We'll get
there's
it,
a lot of
okay.
things we gotta finish up, so.
OPWC, we have to get this done by December 31st. We're going to ask Russell Township, because this cuts Hemlock. Hemlock separates Russell from South Russell. We're asking them for $23,000, which is half of our cost. In the discussion, I wasn't sure that we're shutting traffic on Hemlock. Did you pick that up?
Oh, yeah.
That we definitely
Yeah,
shut all
definitely.
down, okay. Then Chief, I think then you stuck with the issues of Fairview.
Yeah, it really depends on
where they close the road. Could be a Chagrin Falls problem or a Russell problem too.
Yes.
So, yeah, I would say it's more them than us.
It'll be a Russell problem.
Yeah, but they may detour through our side streets to get around it.
Yeah, we had that before. We talked about Fairview traffic, December 15th, he will start. He will bill us by the end of December. The job will be finished in the spring.
Just the finish work.
Finish work, yeah, landscaping, stuff like that. Anyhow, that was the meeting we had this afternoon with the contractor and Eric's,
And the engineer and Dave Hostbar.
yeah, and, yeah. Okay, anything else on the street committee? Building committee, Ruth?
Building committee met, and you got minutes, and those minutes are significant, and I want to thank Danielle because she did chat GPT.
Well, Leslie, I recorded it, but
Okay.
Leslie, we're still working on how to get the AI to do it. So Leslie had to do a lot of work behind the scenes to get it to work, but we're trying to find out what works best. But once she got it figured out, it only took a couple.
So once, it's probably going to be the same process for
Yeah.
all
We think we're
meetings.
finding easier ways. We're trying different, things that other clerks use, but, I think it'll be a much better way to do that.
And here's my comment, I love them because I did handwritten minutes and they matched perfectly. So that was great, and that was one set of minutes I didn't have to go home and type up, which is always a goal. The biggest things with building, and I'm hoping everybody read these. The iWorks software is not working, and they are very frustrated over there. It appears to, from what Ruth Griswold said, this would be good for a larger municipality. To get in and say, do permits, too many steps. You want to pick one thing and then go back and fine tune it. It starts you over on a new screen each time. She's very frustrated. And so, some wonderful conclusions that Danielle found. iWork does not currently meet village needs. Staff will document their software failures. The building inspector is going to look for some alternative systems. And they're just not happy. It's not working. And it puts Ruth behind with what she's doing. The court case was dismissed. I think we might have talked about that 2 weeks ago with the property across the street. And Mark, do you have anything you want to throw in there?
No, other than, it may behoove us to start looking for a replacement building department software package, if there is one, better suited for the village's needs. And
For a
I hate the
small
idea we
village?
spend all this money on moving over with iWorks, but if it's not working and it's not comprehensible, then what good is it?
Yeah.
Doesn't serve the residents and certainly doesn't serve the.
Yeah, she's behind she does those nice septic reminders.
Yeah.
Those are way behind. And that's something that I think is very, very important because I think I'm at year 2.5. When I get that notice, I like it because call somebody in and get it done. Anyway, that's building and that's where we are.
Questions of the building committee?
But thank you, Danielle. I love that and I want it there every single time.
Okay, we'll do it.
Hearing none, we're to police chief.
Thank you, Mayor. First item on the agenda is the Motorola Solutions Agreement for the body camera in-car video system purchase. This will be phase one. This will be the body cameras. Brian was very helpful in getting the contract reviewed, so you have that in front of you. I don't know if you want to do that now or any questions on that, or do it in more uses.
So what do you get feedback from the guys on wearing these, chief?
They've been nothing but amazing for us. You take a look at any one of these videos and it really shows you how well they perform.
It validates what they do.
It really does. And example, just not knowing anything about it early on when they first came out, I wasn't really in favor of them, but we received footage from Chagrin Falls on a mutual aid request that we had in domestic. And I watched my officer on the video camera and I watched how good they did and I'm like, this is a no-brainer. So it really does, solidify a job well done.
Good
These
police
guys,
work,
they
yeah.
do great work and it's evidence, it's great evidence. So I'm all for it and this will be our second body camera purchase. Again, the reason we are forced into this is due to the fact that our current system is Windows 10 based. So Windows 10 is now gone as of October, and now we're moving to the cloud-based system. So again, this will be phase one, and we will look to do the in-car cameras sometime first quarter of next year.
Okay, questions of the police chief?
I do have some other news, some bittersweet news to discuss. So give you a little history. One of our officers, part-time officer, Jim Levine, owns a security consulting business. And Jim, over the years, obtained a couple of partners. John Zippe is the vice president. Kevin Spackman is the director of operations. Over the years, they've developed a program. It's called the START program. It's the School Transportation Active Threat Response Training, START program. And Jim, Kevin, and John have done an outstanding job going all over the place to different school districts, training these school bus drivers how to deal with an active threat. For years, we've concentrated on active threats in the classroom and in the schools, but Jim recognized that somebody needs to, work on school bus safety. So they've developed this program, and over the last few years, it's grown and grown and grown. They are now starting to go cross country. With that, they have an opportunity. John and Kevin have decided to go full-time with the company.
Uh-oh. I was
So,
afraid you're going there.
so they've got an opportunity of a lifetime. They're going to take a leap of faith. So John and Kevin will be starting full-time with the company in January of 2026. However, they would appreciate and love to stay part-time. So at the next council meeting, if you're all in favor of it, what we would like to do is acknowledge their resignation from full-time positions and at the same time swear them into a part-time role effective January 1st.
What if we say no?
I'd love to say no, but here's the deal. This program, this school bus idea, came from John and Jim in 2015, and they did the first program here at Chagrin Schools and trained our own bus drivers here. And Jim, again, recognized how important this was. And again, they've developed this program, and they've trained hundreds of drivers, and it's going, nationwide now. They've got a good opportunity. They've discussed this with their families. This is what they want to do. They also have investors that have invested now, and they've got a pretty secure future. But again,
They'd be traveling to different school systems?
yeah, they go all over the place. They've been in California. They've I think he said San Diego. Is that what he said? Yeah.
Nashville.
Yeah. They're all over the place now.
Was Jim gonna just go away? Because he's already part-time.
Jim is part-time, but with this new venture, Jim is going full-time with the company because it was part-time for him. Kevin, John, and one other officer, or he may not be an officer, just one other employee. So they're going January 1st, starting 4 full-time individuals with the company. It gives me great pride that they started here and developed a program. These guys are great. They're big shoes to fill, of course, but they both would like to remain part-time with the department and help out as much as they can.
Wow.
So with that, we'll have to go to advertise for a few officers. Chief.
Yeah,
like
so,
forward.
what I would like to do tonight is if we can get a motion to allow me to advertise for the open positions, the open upcoming positions. We need to kind of get on a fast track and start working on that because, technically we may only be able to train a couple at once. So you've also got, Ed Svoboda, his retirement's coming up early next year. So we will have 3 openings. And again, I don't think we're going to see, too much of a problem with scheduling, because John and Kevin offered to stay on part-time, they can fill the gaps in our coverage and we'll be okay.
So Chief, would you like a motion to advertise for 2 positions or 3 with Ed?
It would be 3 eventually, yeah, but I mean, we can just advertise to collect applications, and then we can make a decision, at the time. We may not have enough, people at the time we're ready to make a move, but it could be a lengthy process.
You can always do up to 3 positions.
Sure.
Yeah.
So with that, I'll say I'd like to make a motion to allow the police chief to advertise for upcoming full-time police officer, up to 3 full-time officer positions.
Second.
Discussion.
One question. Do we even have to quantify the number of positions? I mean, you could basically
You're right.
have a general blind
You
ad,
can't just hire 100 people without our approval anyway, but
but,
it feels good to say a number.
I do know that in many public service ads that I see, whether it be fire, police, whatever, they don't specify the amount of openings. They just say accepting applications, lateral transfers, words to that effect. But, if we want to go with 3, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I can see some people, what's going on in South Russell? All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Thank you very much, and
Congratulations.
congratulations to those guys. They've done an outstanding job, and I'm very proud of them.
Ed might be hanging around longer telling us that.
You can make them. Questions of the police chief? Chris, safety committee.
Safety, as Chief alluded to, we'll be doing an ordinance tonight for the Motorola contract. We'll also be in ordinance resolutions. We need to adopt the Geauga County Hazard Mitigation Plan. It was pretty well done, pretty thick little booklet.
Sure is. Every 5 years we do it.
I was impressed by the amount of work the committee put into it in Geauga County. Chief, you were part of that, right?
Yeah.
So it's amazing the statistics they put together in the planning. Also, we'll be amending section 47601B, adding dirt bikes to the definition of, is it off-road vehicles? All-purpose vehicles. Just an addition to that definition in the ordinances. And just an FYI, I believe it's Chagrin Lakes asked for a reduction in their 25-mile-an-hour speed limit signs.
No, that was
Country Estates, Country Estates.
Yeah.
They have many more than necessary for the revised code.
Yeah, speed limit signs.
Yeah. And the street commissioner said he can take them out. He can't guarantee that the posts will be any good,
So that's just an FYI. That's pending anything from Councilman Galicki?
Nothing.
Questions of the safety committee? Hearing none. HR committee.
HR, let's see here, Chris talked during the finance report about these 2026 salary increase. We're recommending 4%. That has been added into the proposed budget.
And there's legislation to approve
And there's
for the
legislation.
salaries and so.
Yes, because we have to change the salary schedule to reflect 4% for all the different positions. We also need to make a motion to discuss early dismissals specifically for the December 5th luncheon, right?
Yeah, eventually next year we'll come back and we'll do this for any issues, but council has been made aware that the mayor has permitted some employees to leave after the holiday party and not return to work the remainder of their shift. This offer, though generous, has not been made to all employees. Therefore, I make a motion at this time in accordance with the law. Should the mayor declare the workday complete at the end of the holiday party, then any employee wishing to leave for the day shall use comp or flex time as appropriate for any hours not worked. So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So how does that affect police or anything like that?
Well,
We can't leave.
No,
I
it
know.
doesn't.
right, and that's the problem. They can't leave.
They get shafted.
So if the other employees are using their flex or comp time for those hours not worked, then theoretically, the police officers aren't being penalized for having to go back on the street and work. Because they continue, they'll have that flex or comp time to use
You're
it
not
another
just taking
time.
a wash, got it, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, you've all received a definition of council committee duties that Councilman Berger put together.
Yeoman's job.
Very
Nice job,
thoroughly,
Chris.
yes, very nice job. Chris, would you like to make any statement on this?
I simply, if council's ready, I'd like to make a motion to adopt these definitions of duties, and move forward. So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So are these, like, policies? Is this something that each committee will receive when they, become members of that committee? So like finance committee will receive kind of their duties, or is this something that you want as like a codified ordinance?
At this point, I think it's a policy statement.
Okay.
And I think that with the new year, that every council member should receive the complete packet of all the committees and all the duties assigned to them.
Okay.
And if there's something that we haven't thought about or forgotten or whatever it is, then we can amend it as a living document.
It's a very nice guideline.
But it-
Keep in mind though, it does have 2 additional standing council committees duties,
which we intend to,
but you haven't yet passed.
We haven't
it.
yet
So
passed
honestly, I think the motion is premature.
okay, so
Should we do a new business?
we'll put it
If
after.
you don't mind, yeah,
Yep.
just in
Okay.
case, because it could be a moot point or it could
All right.
not be.
Okay,
So should we rescind the motion now?
then, hang on before you vote it down, okay? That'd be the easiest. I want to give you some
You can
time.
just
Table it. We'll table the motion
Okay, no, let's not
till
table.
later in the meeting.
Table that, I want to give you some comments, just to think about. So we're going to go from 7 to 9. If we do this, I just encourage us, let's do this properly. Some of our present committees work very well, but I suggest that we start a procedure, standardized procedure, that before a committee meets, maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, an agenda and the minutes of the previous meeting are sent out. And then when you have the meeting, have an agenda. And then at the end of the meeting, set the date for the next meeting. I sometimes work, well, Jones, can you be here at 6 o'clock Thursday? No, I can be here at 8:30 on Wednesday. Let's try to get that better organized. Consider that you're gonna rotate membership. We've had years where if you don't rotate membership, the department heads kind of get squashed because the committee members just seems to take over the committee and take over the department. And we've had that happen before, so that's why we've always moved people every couple of years. I looked at the property committee meeting. We have 7 properties. And we have a huge black eye. It's called Rarick Cemetery. And another year's going by, and we can't get that cemetery done. So I would say that should become the #1 priority of the property committee. I also think you should consider the buildings. Let the building be, let the department heads take care of the buildings. The chief's got his building, the street commissioner has his. I mean, he's taking care of between flooring, built a drone garage. I, for example, I'm going to make my policy, I won't go to a committee meeting unless I'm invited. And then the other concern I had is if we're going to offer positions to residents to serve on committees, some of them have already approved it. You know, say, hey, yeah, I'm going to accept that position. I think we're getting the cart before the horse there. So those are some suggestions that I have on the committees. So at this time, we need to move to table the motion.
So moved. No?
You don't have to move the
Nope,
table.
don't have to move the
just
table, just table.
To untable it, you have to move.
All right,
it.
yep. Thank you. Anything else, HR?
Yes. All right, we'll talk about that. All right. We will be amending to clarify the hiring process, we have a nice hiring process in our handbook. We've had some issues with candidates being contacted before the committees even decide to move forward with them, before their interview, before the committees decide to move forward with the candidate themselves. So we'd like that clarified when references are reached out to in the future. Had some instances where the mayor reached out to Shenandoah Fire Department about a candidate whom we had not yet met, and that could put that person in a bad situation where they want to keep it quiet about their interviewing for another job. Unfortunately, that happens more than once. So we're trying to squash that and to prevent anyone else from having any confusion on these matters. Christie, anything you want to add to that?
We've also talked about extending the probationary period for the police department. And we're considering whether or not that will go village-wide. In conversations with the chief, he feels that 6 months is, in some cases, not sufficient time to make a determination on a particular employee, and he would like to see that extended to a year. So we have to think about how that would work and compensation. We also had a discussion about the chain of command, and this is a specific issue where a department head is not on site or available, and the mayor is not on site or available. How does the chain of command work in order to answer questions of employees working at that time? Who do they go to, and how do they do that? And so we had some discussions between the fiscal officer and the chief. And so we'll be drafting a policy statement to come up with a chain of command is the best way to say it, so that everybody knows if this is the case, this is how we handle the situation.
So like a designated survivor?
Yeah. And maybe I'll be the one who gets to sit in the other room. So those are the things we're working on from an HR standpoint.
And then we did have a concern as far as team morale. Our employees are important to the village, but also us as a council. And having a sense of team is important to us. We were disheartened to learn that one department was invited to the Veterans Lunch, which is a wonderful event, but one department was invited while the rest felt like secondary citizens or secondary employees because they were left here. My other concern about that is not part of the regular job duties, and we consider, in my opinion, I could be wrong, supplemental compensation from the Ohio Ethics Commission. So if we have an event, let's have the employees stay here and do their job and not treat them differently from the rest of the people. We're all a team here, and we split up that sense of camaraderie. We're not a well-functioning organization. So my recommendation, no motion, no ordinance, my recommendation is to quit it.
If a village employee is also a veteran,
if he or she is a veteran, and I believe a resident of the community is the stipulation for the event, but I would be open to allowing a veteran go to the luncheon.
Okay.
But the point here is the people who are not necessarily veterans, the entire department was invited, and the rest of the organization was pretty disheartened by it. That's all I have for HR right now. Thank you.
Questions, HR? I have a few comments.
Sure.
Coming around are the minutes of the HR committee dealing with the veterans breakfast. I don't know if this was done in chat or whatever you call that. My concern is, and I'll be honest with this, there's not one positive comment about the veterans breakfast.
Well, Mr. Mayor, our conversation wasn't about the veterans breakfast. It was about an HR issue where one department was invited over to the veterans breakfast. Our job is not to compliment the veterans breakfast. We support the veterans breakfast, but that's not in our purview as a committee.
Okay. Just to clarify, I knew the crew was coming in at 3 o'clock. to plow the streets. And I said, come and take your break at 9 o'clock at the Veterans Breakfast.
Long break.
Again, they're being paid by taxpayers at the same time too.
Yes.
And they were getting overtime for coming at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And supplemental compensation from the Ethics Commission. You choose.
Anything else for the HR committee?
None.
We're at the Properties Committee.
Right, Properties Committee will meet December 18th at 9 a.m. Just a couple of comments. As you've seen, the Holiday Lights program is underway. We've had a number of citizens who have been very helpful in providing direction and have been watching. And so if you've seen any of the social media posts, those have been great. And it's been very well received. So happy with that. There was a recommendation from the Properties Committee regarding the municipal cemetery. As you know, the gate was damaged in an accident. It is the recommendation of the committee that the gate be replaced and that the bill be submitted to the insurance company of the driver, along with the replacement of the tree and repair of the grounds surrounding that. It was the opinion of the committee that the gates, while not closed, still provide value, and potentially we may want to close them at some time. We may not, but we want them there, and so it is our recommendation that the gate be replaced.
Could it be just that half that's broken, or do we have to do both sides?
I have a company coming out, Nick Davida contacted the company that actually installed it, and the company's coming out to do a proposal for us, and they'll let us know whether or not we
Okay.
have a personal side.
There was just one side.
One side is damaged,
Yeah.
but it's a good point.
Yeah,
Will one look new and one look old? I don't know. So
We'll
this
find
is great to get a proposal. Thank you very much, Chief.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Sure.
And subject to Councilman Galicki, that concludes the report.
No, nothing further, Chris.
Questions of the Properties Committee? Hearing none, we're at the Parks Committee.
Okay, Parks Committee met on November 11th. Couple of things. In my notes, I made an error and I was corrected by one of the committee members, so I just want to voice this. It was decided by the Parks Committee that the signs on the restroom should be changed to be unisex. And so I agreed that I would take that to the street commissioner, and I haven't done it, but I will send him an email and say that needs to be on the list. So that's just one small thing. We discussed a process for handling Eagle Scout projects that would give us more time and more supervision over the project. We note that there was a bridge project done down in Chagrin Falls that got good coverage in the paper. And so I sent an email to the mayor of Chagrin Falls and asked them if they had a process of how they handled these things. And so maybe we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And I have not yet heard back from the mayor, but I will report on that when I do. We discussed the Fall Festival, and everyone agreed that we could not have had better weather than we had. And they were very happy with the fact that we had a diagram plan that worked out. Everybody had a copy of the plan and knew where they were supposed to put people. We had to make a small adjustment for the petting zoo. issue that was there, but we thought that the organization was great. We have some suggestions in terms of adding an additional tractor and splitting the trailers and helping with flow on those things. Suggestions as far as the food trucks and whatever, but we'll put all that together in the coming months and prepare for 2026.
And a lot of people still asking about hot dogs.
Still wondering. So,
Ladies, how does it look next year? Hot dog crew?
I'll leave that to the spring and the fall festival committee to do their thing. But that concludes the report of the Parks Committee.
One question, Chris, since you brought up the restrooms and the signage, is the off-kilter exhaust off, is that a done deal? I notice it's still not addressed, but seems like it's months are passing by and nothing happens.
It was on the street commissioner's list. I know that he has contacted the company. They were supposed to come out and look at it and make some determination, and that's as far as I know. I will send another email and ask for an update.
Thanks.
That it?
That's it.
Questions of the Parks Committee? Hearing none, we're at the Public Utilities Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. Public Utilities met November 21st, 2025, essentially last Friday, and discussed all kinds of issues that are in the minutes, particularly with regards to the Hemlock project, the Hazelwood project, and others. So there's a couple of motions in the agenda that need to be addressed with regard to stormwater management. So at this time, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor and fiscal officer to sign the authorized certifications for OPWC disbursements for the Hemlock Road Culvert Replacement Project, request number 2. So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passed.
And a second motion to authorize the engineer to submit an application for the Hazelwood Stormwater Project. And as a note for council, this is the approximately $600,000 project on the western end of the village. And it is called Hazelwood because it's the major street. I myself refer to it as Hazelwood Phase 2, and the culvert is Phase 1. Okay. So to clarify, there's the Hemlock Road culvert, which is also known as Hazelwood Road, and then there's also the big project, Phase 2 Hazelwood, which will be going on next year after July 1st, as Daniel noted. So this is the beginning of that project. The village need not do it if it finds other things that require funding, but this is the way to get the project moving along the OPWC. So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion.
Yes,
All
I have one thing, sorry. We have an ordinance on this as well. I just want to make sure it's the same thing, Mark. I know that Eric had spoken about it just briefly at the beginning of the meeting last Friday, but isn't this,
So the legislation replaces the motion then?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So we had the agenda put together before I knew it had to be legislation.
Correct.
Well, the ordinance is for the mayor to prepare.
Is for the mayor to submit, yes, correct, just like we have done in the past.
Right. The motion is for the engineer to submit the application. So the engineer gets to work. When he's done, he presents presumably to stormwater, PUC, and then to the mayor, and then on from there. That's how I interpreted it.
It actually has to be signed. I'm pretty sure OPWC requires, I don't know if we can authorize the engineer to sign the ordinance.
I'm sure you can't sign the ordinance, but we have submitted applications on behalf of the village in the past, and then when OPWC awarded funds, they send, like.
But like the agreement, sure.
Yeah,
But no, this is for the application, as I understand it from Eric. this ordinance that we have to pass saying, hey, OPWC, we're good with it, has to be submitted with the application that Eric's asking for.
I think it's another new process. I think we used to do it by motion and now they require legislation and council.
I think we can do both. Going out.
Sure.
One authorizes the engineer to get going, the next authorizes the mayor to sign it when it's done.
No, well, keep in mind, this is still part of the application. I know, it's very strange. Okay, it's not the agreement, and we get, let's say we get the grant
The mayor's signature is required before the application is.
for this application, correct?
So let me amend the motion. Authorize the engineer to prepare an application for the Hazelwood Stormwater Project. And as amended, so moved.
Okay, so we're taking out the word submit and prepare.
Correct.
Thank you.
Second the amended motion.
Motion to authorize the engineer to prepare an application for the Hazelwood Stormwater Project. This has been motioned. Do we have a
And
second?
I second.
Second discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion passes. Okay,
And as noted, Mayor, there's a ordinance coming up for the contract between CMG for the Sugar Bush project. And the committee intends to invite Kyle Cantor, who is the HOA president, and congratulations to him, the statutory agent for the association, or the club, I guess they're actually called, to our meeting December 11th. There's a note on that, solicitor, do we need to change anything with that license agreement we sent them?
I'll have to look again. You said it was a club, right? Not really an HOA.
It's like Sugar Bush Club 2025
Okay,
on the app, on their articles of incorporation.
right.
So,
Yeah, I'll have to, we might have to just change the very beginning and the end, like the signatory part and the part in the beginning where I think I might have them listed as a not-for-profit corporation, but that might not be.
they're in Ohio, not-for-profit.
So is,
Even as a club?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, they're not a professional association or something like
I'm
that?
presuming my memory is accurate of the articles I sent to everybody.
Okay.
But they are a nonprofit, yeah.
so is that comparable to an HOA?
HOAs can take various forms,
Okay,
but their formal legal entity is, correct me if I'm wrong, Sugar Bush Club 2025.
It is something like
It seems kind of bizarre to me, but
well, now that you've mentioned that, years ago, Chagrin Lakes was Chagrin Lakes Club. And maybe they changed, maybe they morphed over time, because that's an HOA, isn't it? Yeah.
but that's a common phrase too, you know, the HOA, the community association.
Pawpaw Lake is not a club, dear God, okay.
All right, any questions of the Public Utilities Committee? Anything to say? All right,
Just
moving
one
down.
thing there, if there's a revised license agreement for Sugar Bush, we'd like to present it to them in advance. And then they can bring it with them if they so desire.
Do you want me now to pull the deeds of the other homeowners that actually touched the lake?
Yes,
Okay, I will do that.
and they paid their, what was that, Daniel, $6,900? So they did that well before the December 1st deadline we had set for them. So this is in process, Mayor, and moving along. And then I'm subject to comments by Councilman Kim. That's it.
Credit to you. How long have we been talking about sugar addiction? All right,
At least as long as the salt farm.
2, 4, 6, I think we got 10 ordinances. Please look ahead, and if you're in charge of one, be ready. This first one is the all-purpose vehicle, that is the safety, Chris.
Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance amending the definition of all-purpose vehicle in section 476.01 of the Village of Southwest codified ordinances and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Moved away.
Move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Gallicki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Goff,
Aye.
Sturgill,
Aye.
Canton,
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Gallicki,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Goff,
Aye.
Sturgill,
Aye.
Canton,
Aye.
Ordinance passes. Next one.
Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance approving the pay schedule for employees and officials in the village of South Russell for 2026, only effective January 1, 2026. Move to waive further readings.
You want to
Second, declare an emergency?
declare an emergency?
Wait, that, I'm about January 1.
Yeah, we don't need an emergency.
Okay, so we're good.
Okay,
Okay, so 3
Okay.
readings?
This is
we only have one more meeting.
Right, but keep in mind, you don't have to, I mean, you can still waive the 3 readings,
You can wait for.
but it's just not emergency, in other words, it won't go into
Oh,
effect
go into
today.
effect.
Oh, sorry.
That's all.
Because it's November 20.
Right, correct.
Do you want to waive readings?
I want to waive readings, I'm not declaring an emergency
There
for
you go.
more than 30 days.
Thank you. Chris, you're seconding that?
I second it.
You said, okay, somebody was
So
second.
this is for waiving readings, Kavanaugh.
Correct.
Aye.
Lukey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Lukey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Hampton.
Aye.
Ordinance passes. Jerry?
Okay, I have a modified ordinance related to this one that you have. So I'll read the modified one. Introducing ordinance to approve the 2026 annual appropriations as follows. General fund salaries and benefits, $385,748. Other, $364,936. Service fund, $116,276. Building fund, salaries and benefits, $97,011. Other, $97,600. Ambulance fire fund, $637,500. Deferred benefits, $11,500. Street maintenance fund, $406,495. State highway fund, $13,000. Cemetery fund, $18,500. Parks and recreation fund, $29,000. Safety fund, salaries and benefits, $1,658,925. Others, $416,339. Operating fund salaries, benefits, $559,594. Other, $51,376. Road bridge fund, $239,500. Income tax fund, $2,965,000. Special land and building fund, $100,000. Bell Road East, $1,499,755. Large equipment, $240,000. Trust and agency fund, $120,000. And declare an emergency and waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Was that Porter? Okay.
Yes.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Lukey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye. Move to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Lukey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Ordinance passes. This is,
Think me.
you got it.
Yeah.
At last.
I'd like to introduce, consider for adoption, an ordinance approving a contract agreement between the Village of South Russell and CMG Contracting LLC for the excavation of Sugar Bush Homeowners Association, or as its legal title may be indicated, Silt Pond, in the amount of $32,950, authorizing the mayor to execute the contract agreement on behalf of the village, declaring an emergency, move to waive further readings.
Need a second, Jerry?
Second.
Roll call.
Kavanaugh.
As long as Papa and others are treated in the same way.
No, can't do that. You gotta vote one way or the other.
I give it an aye.
Lukey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Lukey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Next 5 are mine, so I'm gonna fly through these.
Okay.
Introduce and consider for adoption a resolution adopting the 2025 Geauga County Natural Hazards Mitigation Plan, declaring an emergency. Move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Lukey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Lukey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Okay, introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance amending section 272.03 of the Village of South Russell's codified ordinances declaring an emergency. Move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Dahl.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Move to adopt, motion, yeah.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Stuckey.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Dahl.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Ordinance passes.
Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance amending section 220.05A of the Village of South Russell's codified ordinances and declaring an emergency. Move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Discussion?
Well, I think we do roll call, then we do discussion. Well,
Well,
go ahead.
roll call's a vote, right?
You got it.
Okay. So in section 2, where the list, after the list of committees is set forth, there are 3 committees identified for having residents or non-residents. I suggest that we add streets committee to that number.
As amended by Councilman Porter.
One other thing, for the resident, non-residents members, that the ordinance specified is served without compensation.
As amended.
And one other amendment, I saw your recommendations, I didn't see them till late today. I think we do need to change in section 2, that very last sentence where it says appointment of members to such committees shall be made by motion and approved by a majority of council at its annual, okay.
So moved as amended.
Well, one other question, okay? The issue being non-residents as committee members, and my only concern is, non-residents have no skin in the game in terms of being taxpayers in the community. And that's something going forward. I don't know if you want to consider it now or in the future, but case in point, we've got one committee right now with a non-resident that is a member. And, we're talking about, potentially $2 million expenditure over $1 million for the village. If that committee member is very positive about going forward with it, it's no skin off her nose. It's somebody else's money. So it's implications like that I would hope that future council would consider, going forward in terms of blessing non-residents.
What is the specific we're talking about? I'm a little bit
Talking
lost.
about the bike path committee, there was a non-resident who is one of the 3
Co-chairs.
co-chairs.
Yeah.
And, Dennis's point is good, she doesn't reside in the village, so under this ordinance, she would have no vote.
Correct. But on the other side, if we have a non-resident who has specific expertise in a certain area that would be helpful to the committee in guiding them through a process, then we would hope that we should be able to add them to the committee for that purpose. Even though they don't have a vote, but they have knowledge that would be worthwhile.
I don't argue that point, Chris.
Okay.
The knowledge or the expertise is a wonderful thing. I know that in addition to this committee that we're addressing right now with a non-resident, we also in the past have, and the case was, the veterans flag displays or whatever that we were going to make, and was it going to be at the park? Was it going to be here? Where was it going to be? And there was another non-resident that was, basically proposed for membership of the committee only because the mayor liked the way he thought. And, I don't think that should be the driver, expertise potentially, but I think we have to be judicious in non-residents who might have a significant impact on how residents' tax funds are spent. That's
Point well taken.
I would note, I think it's ARB, one of the architects
Is
required,
not a
has to be a resident, one does not need to be a resident.
Right.
And I think we've had trouble finding 2 architects willing to serve both residents of the village over the last some years. So having that flexibility that works for ARB, perhaps it would be necessary on other committees.
But again, keep in mind, this is just for the standing committees of council.
Right, but the Safe Bicycle and Transport Committee is now a standing committee under this ordinance, isn't it?
If it passes, you guys have passed, yeah.
Yes.
Solicitor, you suggest we put this off till the next meeting?
I do not.
So many changes. You think we know what we're talking about? Okay, let's go.
This is, which one? It's 22005?
Yes.
Is that one?
That's
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And this is to waive readings. Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galiki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Galiki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Ordinance passes.
Before you go to the next one, I'm sorry, Chris. So, the next one has to do with one subsection of 220.01, and the one after that has to do with two subsections. Only because if you're going to make that change, the point is that you would want to make it.
It affects the other.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So this one, the first one has to do with organizational meeting, the second one has to do with whether or not you're gonna change the regular meetings and the organization. So it's one or the other.
Okay,
Okay,
so the second one is both?
that is correct.
Correct. Introducing, I'm gonna do the second one, folks. Introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance amending section 220.01 of the Village of South Russell's ordinance, amending section 220.01 of the Village of South Russell's codified ordinances and declaring emergency.
Second.
And move to
We
another
really have
reading.
to say section C on the, that doesn't matter.
I'm sorry, did we miss A and C?
It's not
We're
written.
not-
Oh, sorry. It should be A and C.
All right. Amending section 220.01A of the Village of South Russell's ordinance, amending section 220.01C of the Village of South Russell's codified ordinance, declaring emergency, move to waive further readings.
Second as amended.
Roll call.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Galiki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Galiki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Ordinance passes.
I'm done until we have to do what is not on the agenda. for
Okay,
the
this
board
is
roll.
codified.
We have one for safety though, right, Chris?
Yes, I had one.
Oh,
for
you're
safety,
gonna save that one
But
to
there's
the end?
another one next to the
All right, sorry,
agenda,
thank you.
and I didn't read it.
All right,
This is 2201.
so this last one, remember that one surpassed the other one, so
Okay,
the
so
other
we're
one was,
good?
yeah.
All right, so we are now at,
Hazelwood.
Yeah, I guess that's mine. Sure.
Yes,
Introduce and
Yep.
consider for adoption an ordinance authorizing the mayor to prepare and submit an application for the Village of South Russell to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or Local Transportation Improvement Programs for the Hazelwood Storm and Pavement Project and to execute contracts as required, declaring an emergency, move to waive further readings.
Second.
roll call.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Galiki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Galiki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Ordinance passes. Did we get them all?
So I have
Now
one,
there's one more
One
at your
more.
seat tonight.
One came around,
this is for Motorola,
The Motorola ones. Yeah.
safety. All right,
Okay.
so introduce and consider for adoption ordinance authorizing the police chief to execute the customer agreement on behalf of the village with Motorola Solutions, Inc. for the purchase of body cameras as well as the necessary software to operate such body cameras for the Village of South Russell Police Department in the amount of $76,044.08, declaring an emergency, move to waive further readings.
Second.
roll call.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Galiki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye,
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
motion to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Galiki.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye,
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance passes. Did you, by chance, give me two? I'm looking here.
I probably accidentally.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're all set
Did everyone
now
else have one?
on ordinances, resolutions.
I didn't know you gave him one that the original
Oh.
So, did I miss something? There's an ordinance,
When you do the
enacting a new section of 230.09 for the contracts. That's not ready.
It is not ready.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
All right,
I just want to make sure I didn't miss it.
Councilman, Finance.
Thank you, Mayor. Motion to ratify the payment list, the amount of $414,731.41.
Second.
Roll call,
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Galicki,
recuse.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Berger,
Aye.
Campbell.
Just a change in name instead of the bills list, it's the payment list now.
Yes.
Okay.
From the new software.
All right, new other.
For the purposes of scheduling a special council meeting at the end of December. The purpose of that meeting will be to approve payment on the Fairview Hazelwood.
The Hemlock Culvert project payment.
Thank you. Phase one. And I suggest that we meet at 8 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning on December 29th for
Oh.
that purpose.
Do
Unless
we
we'd
have
rather
to
meet,
get up that early?
unless we'd rather meet later in the day.
Yes.
7:30 a.m.?
About 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock's great.
9's great. 9 o'clock it is.
I'm not 100% sure. I can be there
Works for a living.
9 o'clock.
Can we compromise at 8:30?
Sure, 8:30.
Ruth, would that be
I'll
acceptable?
take it.
All right, 8:30 it is. Danielle, can you sunshine that, please?
Will do. And then if anybody has anything else, year-end stuff that we need to add to that agenda, let me know, because it's a special meeting, so we can only cover what is advertised.
24-hour notice. right?
Correct.
So,
All right. HR, motion to approve the revisions to the village public records policy. You want that one?
No, that's from the Records Commission. So
Records.
remember, we just approved the revised and updated public records policy. This is to address some of the updates in the law since 2007, when you guys originally adopted the policy. Plus, it includes fairly new law regarding the body camera videos and the public records with respect to that. Also including emails and texts and things like that to be included. So it was recommended by the Records Commission to approve it. And it would be a motion only because we do have it as an appendix to our employee handbook.
Okay, we have a motion. Someone wants to make the motion.
I will.
Moved by Porter, seconded by
Second.
discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. All right, trail estimates.
I just put that on there because you sent that out, I didn't know if you wanted to discuss it.
Yes. I'll make a comment on the trail estimates. The estimates are basically 1.5 and 1.8. It's for the Cadillac version from Spring Drive to Chillicothe. The Trails Committee meeting is meeting Thursday, December the 4th at 8 a.m. All welcome to attend. My comment to them will be, go back to what was originally stated, was a path from Gurney to the park on the north side of the road.
5 feet wide?
Yeah, 5 foot asphalt from Gurney to the park. That was the original plan. I'm done.
Is truncating it by not taking it to the corner gonna cost $300,000 or whatever? You know, why that recommendation there, man?
Why? Because I think we should be real, and I guess my thoughts were real clear. We originally said this is what you wanted.
And I thought the committee said this is what we want.
Yes, well, I'm just gonna take it to the committee and they'll do what they want. I'm just giving you my opinion.
So you're going to inform them of the cost of the north side and south side sidewalk project as set forth in Verdantis paperwork, and then ask them for a decision.
Ask for Dantas or the committee?
The committee.
Committee? I don't know, I guess I would say to the committee, they need to make a recommendation to council. And I'm just gonna tell them what I just said.
I would note, I noticed in this quote, there's no crosswalk at Spring Drive or the park. So, just of note, so there's an extra 16.
And,
Okay.
you know, those enumerate construction costs, you know, the one thing that's still missing is the right-of-way costs. And potentially interfaces.
You mean the easements or?
Whether they be,
Only because they do list them under general
General
requirements.
requirements.
That's all. So it does include, if you were to do the 1.4 million, let's say, or the 1.8, it does have those costs then included.
Well, it's a slope easement. What does
Okay.
that mean?
I don't know, I mean,
I think it's just that one area, but,
well, it has right-of-way acquisition, yeah. You
because
see it.
It does.
Yep.
25,000?
I'm just telling you that they are accounting for some of those costs.
some, yeah, but again, it's like the total cost doesn't include the sunk costs already in engineering, there's going to be right-of-way costs, so even if you look at, the lower of the two options, there are still going to be additional costs that'll be factored in there, So total project cost is complete on that right now.
Any other discussion on the trail estimate?
Yeah, confusion is the crossing the park, is that included in this?
Well, it says from Spring Drive.
Yeah,
to
the route,
US6.
which I assume means the park, but there's no specific, because we talked about the park not being an asphalt path, but some other type of path or what have you, and I just didn't see it in the quote.
So what you're
Okay.
asking is, does that include what it takes to get done at the park?
Yes, is the park included in
I
this,
don't know.
which,
Yes, I believe so.
okay, well, I'm just trying to understand.
But I think it is assuming asphalt. I think it was just to give council an idea of the cost because it was recommended to not use that as part of the
Right.
grant. But it gives us an estimate, an idea of what that portion might be.
Thank you for the clarification.
That's my understanding. at least.
Better than mine.
Any other comments on the trail? All right, you still have to do new other.
Yeah, Kavanaugh,
I'm just looking I'm looking ahead, so the Christmas luncheon also is a special council meeting. Will we be voting on things then?
we sunshine it that way because you'll be present and if you start talking village business.
Okay, my only new other, we had, two of the street guys on top of the roof, and we don't have a harness, a just in case harness.
They had a harness on when I was here Friday.
They had Friday, they didn't have one the day before, it came with the, for lack of a better term, cherry picker that took them up there. But they didn't have, so then that's handled if we rent the equipment?
I don't know how it's handled, but the street commissioner wasn't here Friday, he was out absent, and when they came in and told me they had the thing, I told them they could not do anything with that unless they had a harness.
Thank you,
So when I was here, they had a harness.
Okay.
I wasn't here over the weekend, so.
got it.
I drove by on Saturday and maybe this morning, and at least one of them I could see the harness on at
Okay.
least one of them. And there was only one up there. I think the other one was at the controls or something.
There must have been 3 days when they were up there then. All right, as long as
Sounds
it's
about
covered.
right.
Yeah,
But it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
Make sure they have the right harness. You don't want anybody taking the header off of
oh
that.
my God, don't even say it.
Good catch.
Is that all you have?
I think so at this point.
So we can do other?
Yeah, the only question I had is HR. I know that guys were working on holiday decorations on Saturday. Was that work that couldn't be done during the normal work week? And, given the time and a half of the weekend work, where was that authorized?
I was unaware that they were working on Saturday. That's all I can tell you.
They were tasked with getting it done before Thanksgiving, so I don't know who said, yeah, they'll work overtime.
It's a
Not my,
question for the street commissioner.
Yeah, and given the fact the street commissioner wasn't there on Friday, did anybody reach out? Did the mayor authorize it? Who authorized it? Silence.
because I don't know the
Wasn't the
answer.
HR committee.
Because, last thing that I was aware, in the corporate world, people don't electively decide, I'm gonna work overtime, so,
Is that all you had, Dennis?
that's it.
Porter, new other?
Nothing further.
Val?
Yes, I'd like to untable the motion for the council committee duties. as discussed earlier in the meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Wait, you want to table it, now you gotta vote on it.
Or we-
Right, because they just untable it.
Okay,
Now you get it.
now the motion to,
Because you have a first and second of the motion, and then you tabled it, so you just need a vote. Because Berger,
We already-
made the motion. and
motion second for this, and we just voted on tabling, right?
Right, you just.
So now we have to vote on,
Now you can vote on the subject.
Mayor, let's call the vote.
So, we'll call the vote.
Yes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Thank
No, I have no other.
you. Berger, any other?
None.
Canton, any other?
Motion to adjourn at 8:35. Moved by Porter, seconded by Cantor. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.